This episode of the SWTOR Escape podcast is brought to you by Behind the Games podcast on newoverlords.com and YouTube/New Overlords. So, Behind the Games is our slightly newer podcast, newer than 400 episodes of the SWTOR Escape podcast. Tomorrow, or probably at the same time you're hearing this, if you're hearing it off the feeds, as in today, we're getting a new episode out there that we're pretty excited about. So I just wanted to mention it. It's Sarah Spires from Maxis, the makers of The Sims, and she's a development director there. She's really cool. She can talk a lot about the gaming industry in general, what it's like to get into games, what her path was, and we talk a little bit about The Sims and a bunch of other fun things. So don't miss
Yeah,
it.
and we talked a little bit about Midwest versus East and all that too.
Yeah, because she
Not
spent some time
versus,
in the
but yeah,
Midwest.
yeah.
So don't miss it. That's also on newoverlords.com. Subscribe. And with that, let's get on with the SWTOR show. Tonight, we are going to take a deeper dive into Manaan dailies and achievements, including some hidden ones. That and more on this episode of the SWTOR Escape podcast from newoverlords.com. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 436. And with me is my co-host, Seema. I know this is a surprise to you all, but Seema's here today. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Yes, I am here today. Hi, Max. It's going very well, thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing about these secret achievements.
Yes, they won't be
I
secret
shall
after today. We're going to spoil the secrets.
I
Not,
shall learn from you.
oh, really? I think
Yeah.
we're all going to be learning from Zam Zam and Swotorista, actually, but whatever the case may be.
Um. So let's see. What have I been doing in SWTOR this week? I actually missed most of MFN this week because I had some family in town, but I got to watch the end of it where they were in Eternity Vault. So I got to watch them do the SOA fight, and it was entertaining as the SOA fight often is. And yeah, so I think they had done some galaxy rampaging around earlier in the evening too, so they did that and an operation, so that was cool. Um, then we went our own ops team tonight, Thursday night. We went into R4 and got some practice in on that first boss, and I think we got the sort of the dance down. We just need to work a little bit on maybe a little bit more surviving.
No, not well.
I
Survival
mean,
wasn't really a problem. We barely had any deaths, and
that's
I
true.
mean,
We
you
we
probably saw
improved
it,
we
but
improved a lot on the surviving over the last time we tried it, but I think a little more surviving will give us a more comfortable
true.
cushion,
I mean,
and then yeah.
we didn't beat the enrage timer, and
No, and so
people being
we
dead
definitely
doesn't help with that. You're right.
yeah. So we definitely our challenge on that fight now is gonna be DPS, which I like that as a challenge more than I like figuring out what's well, I was gonna say figuring out while I don't understand what's going on, it's not as fun to me as once I understand it and then I'm just trying to execute it, you know?
Right.
I know for some people they like figuring it out, but that's not me. I like yeah, okay. That
E-
was pretty clear.
But we've got that all figured out. And
Yes.
we had one person in 306 gear. So,
Right.
he, he's just come back to the game. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll jump in. I'll do some stuff with you." We didn't realize until, after, after a few polls on the boss that he was in 306 gear. So,
But I mean,
that
our point tonight was meant to be to go learn
yeah,
that fight. So
and
yeah.
we did. I
Yeah.
mean we died at because of the enrage timer and only because of the enrage timer pretty much. I mean, we
Yeah.
had 8 people up at the enrage timer most of the attempts.
Yeah.
So now we've got that down. We'll just crank up our DPS, and we'll be good to go.
And unlike Max, I have spent some time in the casino this week. I
Hmm.
haven't gotten anything really exciting though. I've only gotten golden certificates and cartel market certificates so far. Although I do enjoy when that happens. When you
Getting the
get the little
certificates.
like yes, because you get that like golden burst and like the little credit signs.
That's how they
Um,
get you.
Yeah, that's how they
that's the
get you.
dopamine hit.
I spent I some of that time I was in the casino in Nar Shaddaa, like the conventional place to do it, and then also part of it I did on the fleet in the VIP lounge, and that is uh I believe you can still buy that. You buy a bracelet if you don't have this already, and then you can take an elevator up.
Yeah,
And I think it's like I want to say 1,000 credits, but maybe it's 100,000 credits. But
for
it's
the
a pittance.
VIP bracelet? I think it's
Yeah.
actually 1,000,000, but even so, that's like
Oh, a
nothing.
million. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 1,000 would be silly. If you bought the digital collectors, whatever they called it, edition, then you have it, and all your subsequent characters have it. And
Right.
that's why I have it. And if you do have it, you will see it on the mission tab in your inventory. But anyway, you can go up the elevator, and there are nightlife machines up there. There's Kingpin and the green one, and the Emperor's chip one, and also the max. You can buy the max tickets up there, and the max tokens, I mean, and yeah, there's a so it's just a different place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like going to Nar Shaddaa because then during the nightlife event on Nar Shaddaa, General is almost always about people gambling,
Yeah.
and they're like saying, "Oh, I got my 20th Wraith Vectron," or "I didn't get this," or "I got this,"
And there's plenty of
and
people there hanging out, and there's plenty of people chatting. It's quite a
yeah,
social event.
yeah.
There we go. I'm
Yes,
on my way back.
yes, like yes, in chat they reminded me it's 1 million for Basin. I guess in my mind, yeah, when as soon as I said 1,000, I'm like, yeah, that's not even anything. That's not even like lunch money. So it couldn't be that.
It's a banana. How much could it cost? $10?
That's a Arrested Development reference.
Yes, it is. Good one, Seema. You got it.
That was for people listening. I was educating.
I understood that reference.
Yes,
Uh,
that's Captain America reference. So anyway, yes. Actually, no, so I haven't gotten any of the big prizes. I think I must have spent a bunch of golden certificates because I only have like a handful right now. So
Is that a legacy currency?
no, I don't think it
No.
is. They were saying during MFN that it's like character by character. So I went and looked at.
No,
I,
it is a oh, is it? Well, I don't know. The chips are definitely character by character. The certificates might also be, but I apparently have a lot of them on this character, so
yeah, yeah, I don't know. Listen, don't really listen to me. But I mean, don't. I'm saying that was my advice. Don't listen to me. But I think I saw they were different on different characters. But I don't know.
okay.
I should have a bunch, but I don't, so I must have spent them. So anyway, yeah, that's yeah, how has your week been going, Max?
My week's been going great. Thanks for asking. I I finished up some more swoop racing because a couple reasons. One, I was doing a whole bunch of conquest. I did conquest, personal conquest on like 7 characters because I need the tech frags to upgrade all of my legendary implants on my couple main sets. And I've got those now. At least I think I didn't finish the upgrade, but yeah, so I've got enough tech frags, and I haven't even logged in all of those characters yet. I've got plenty to finish all the upgrades on my main set, my DPS set, and get a couple upgrades even in on the my tanking set, and then I've got my Sork set that I'll do as well. But I did that with swoop racing. I did that with some GSF. I did that with some just giving gifts to companions and swoop racing in particular because of how I spaced it out. Get the 45,000 conquest points each day because I was still getting reputation for the swoop racing as well. It's not finished off.
Oh, right.
So
Cool.
that was cool. That was a big part of how I got the 7 characters was swoop race and just go run a couple races. Just run one race per day. It's 45,000 points once a day every time you run one race because you get the
If
rep tokens.
yeah, yes, if you have room for rep.
And if you don't, then I don't think wait, but how many weeks has it been? I don't know how many weeks it's been since Manaan dropped. It could be about now that people are hitting max rep on Manaan, but if not, go run one Manaan daily each
Mhm.
day and that's 45,000 conquest
Right.
points from that as
Right.
well, because we're
Yep.
still each daily is giving you reputation off of those.
Right. That's right. And if you haven't maxed out IOCath, you just go and kill a few things on IOCath, and a little rep token may even drop.
This is only the third week today in Tor. Uh, yeah, then yeah, if this is only the third week, um, if you super cap it, I think it's still 4.5. 4.5 weeks is the minimum. I think so. Basically, like four resets is the minimum to get it, and that's if you're pushing it and you get to what is it, the 12,000 rep per week on a normal rep like this, you get to like 11,999, and then you use you basically do the heroic 4, the weekly whatever, to turn that in to get the purple token. Uh, that's how you get extra per week, and you can get it a week sooner if you do that every time in the first 3 weeks that you do that. But nobody needs to do this. It's going to be around forever. Uh, that was only back in the day when we were trying to get some really fancy reward and we wanted it really fast for some reason. So yeah, that has been fun. That's been excellent. And then I finished off my gear as a result. The only one piece that I need, in fact, I've got a 330 relic that I could use to replace this Thyrisian, but I want uh I either want Devastating Vengeance, and I would take even a Serendipitous Assault or a Focused Retribution. What I want is Focused Retribution and Devastating Vengeance. What I don't want is stupid Boundless Ages. Please. No more Boundless Ages. Just take it out of the game. Nobody wants Boundless Ages. Every time there's a gear upgrade, I'm get like, uh, relic after relic, Boundless Ages. Oh, here's another one. Here's another Boundless. Here you go. Boundless Ages. Boundless Ages. Just throw them away. So no more of those, please. Other than that, that's about all I've been doing. Why don't we talk about the news?
Yeah.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So, first up in the news, we've got a little bug watch. So, I'll go through a couple bugs that we did see talked about in the dev tracker. One thing I thought that was interesting in this bug section is Bryant Wood's been posting quite a bit. So I keep seeing Bryant Wood posts in the forums. So that's good to hear from more people. We're still seeing Jackie and Nath, I believe, is who still posts under community support or whatever that other tag is. And a couple other people from time to time, but Bryant Wood's posting multiple posts a week to respond to some of this stuff. So one of the bugs was Zeke and Hyde. Hyde and Zeke, get it?
Hmm.
Get it?
It's the teehees.
So Zeke and Hyde were having problems for some people that they weren't completing the mission. Like I picked up the 330 artifact mission, I deconstructed the item, and I didn't get credit for deconstructing an item. And they tried it a couple times, and I haven't seen it. It seems like it's relatively rare because only a couple people have brought it up. So post if you can find the situation where it happens. If you've got a video that really helps them out. So that's one. The second one, which we checked out tonight and seems completely fixed, but this was talked about in the forums this week. It should have been fixed in 7.1a. This was where, as you're playing in R4, if you wipe when you come back, some people still, even though everybody's alive, some people still look dead to some of the rest of the group. And they aren't dead, but they look dead, but it's not consistent. They don't show up dead for everybody in the group. You just look at the raid frames and they look dead, and they might even be like lying on the ground, or maybe they're not. They're just standing there. But the
This is
raid
not
frame
fixed,
shows them dead.
though.
It's not?
No, they're saying we're currently looking into this and
Yeah, well,
investigating. They're asking people, how does,
yeah.
who's affected.
Yeah, so people are saying that it's still happening to them. Now, to us tonight, we did the boss, we did half a dozen or 4 polls on the boss, and it would have happened to us before 7.1a, and it didn't happen at all tonight. So maybe it's partially fixed, or it's fixed in great majority of situations and just not in others.
What was fixed really well for us was the problem we were having with that boss before, where he wouldn't completely reset.
Right. When it would come down, but it would still be shielded and then it would drop through the floor. That wasn't happening this week either, which made it smooth to reset and go back in there and try it again. Guess we'll try this again. That's something we say. It's got some history behind it. That was fun. That was fun. What else do we got? I think there's an event going on this week.
Oh yeah,
too.
so starting soon. Um, well, there is there is one going on right now, Narshada Nightlife,
Is
which is
it?
going on, yes, for
What?
another 6 to 8 months. So it's ending on September 13th. But yeah, that's going on right now. And then next week we're gonna have Racco Resurgence, and then after that we'll wait for the July event. Not July. Where did that come from? September events.
Trust me, it's August, Seema. Trust me.
Okay, Vinny.
No, I won't trust you. Yeah. Nightlife. I keep saying now I have not been to the casino. And it's ending sooner than I think. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I guess I got to get in there and I got to try this out. I know if I play it, and I've got a bunch of in fact, where am I? Where am I? I don't know. This is my life. How many? I've got a bunch of tokens. This is so just on this character, I've got 1,079 Kingpin tokens, 8 Emperor's tokens, and 176 Smuggler chips, and 178 Golden Cartel certificates, and 148 Cartel Market certificates. I have plenty of tokens. I'm sure I could go in there, and I bet I would win Erodian if I played all of this stuff with the way things are working now. I bet I would. So I'm gonna quit crying about it. I'll just go and win it, and then I can stop crying about it. Even though, in some ways, I kind of like crying and whining about it. I'm gonna miss
Yeah,
my whining about no
I
Rodian.
don't know if you're gonna be able to spend all those coins. That's a lot of
The 1,000 Kingpin, is that too
yeah.
many? I'll never
That,
get through them. That's so today in Tor says that's at least 12 straight hours of spinning slot machines. Where did I get all of them then?
I don't think he's wrong. Well, you
D-
can get them 50 at a time by just using an Emperor's chip.
so do you think I got them like last time 50 at a time and just that many? Maybe I did.
Maybe, but
I don't know.
that's why I was saying in Obstinite, it's like it's fun when you win something, but it's also fun when you see your character do that little shrug because you're like, "Yay,
I burned
one
it. Finally
one
burned a chip.
one's
Jeez.
gone."
I'm never gonna get rid of these things. Yeah, exactly. When I do it, when I'm really revved up to do it, I'll stand in between like 3 or 4. You can only do 3 spins in global cooldowns before it resets. 3 global cooldowns of 3 resets, spinning just 3 machines, but sometimes I'll stand in between 4 anyway and do all 4 of them just to go around in case I'm a little slow on a click and I don't hit the global cooldown coming back around. I go bleep 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 bleep. You gotta take a tiny step though if you're going in between 4 of them like that.
But you can spin the kingpins on getting that like max kingpin thing.
Oh really? The max bet. All my bets
Yeah.
are max bets. So there's that.
I mean, I think what people are saying is that it's not worth it, but at least you
It's
could spend some
I think
kingpins.
and I think the consensus was from Jackie confirming it is worth it, but it's worth it from an RNG perspective, and because it's such a big amount, if you want to smooth out the odds curve, you gotta, you'd have to spend like 10 billion credits worth of tokens to spend enough that you'll get the odds to work out so that you would see that it is worth it. But nobody does that, and you don't spend that money, so you could just burn a whole bunch and have a streak of bad luck,
So
and then
that's the same as saying it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, I guess that's kind of.
Like what you're saying is it's you would see the worth of the worth is so tiny that you wouldn't see it until you spent 10 billion credits.
Or across all of the people spinning at once, the all across that population
Yes.
of everybody on the
Yes.
server, more people would be getting more prizes.
Yes.
So, so for yes, for an individual, or because this is the way that odds work, for every single specific role, the odds are better. Just the fact that you could have a run of bad luck, and not get it, not get what you want. Someone else is going to have good luck and get more. So yes, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think the consensus is don't do it because you could be one of the unlucky, which I would be,
Or
and spend a
yeah.
billion credits worth of tokens and not get anything.
I mean, I might do it because I do foresee that it'll be satisfying to get rid of the token.
Yeah, that's it too. And then if you're burning them at that rate, then maybe you'll actually get through them and you'll clear out that slot
Yeah, exactly.
in your currency tab because it's taking up extra pixels in the currency tab there. I guess. Uh what else we got in our community news, Seema?
Well, I mean, just continue to invite people to come by on Tuesday nights for our mandatory fun night.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I always should explain the word mandatory in there just means we want it to be fun, not attendance is by no means mandatory.
Correct.
Um, and I see you painted note here of EV. We did run EV this week, and we do like to do operations fairly often,
Yeah.
if we have the right, enough people in the group, and we have a couple tanks and a couple healers.
And we had a handful of people that were on vacation. Yeah, and end of summer, all the vacations are rolling in. We had a handful of people that were on vacation and said ahead of time, I'm not going to be there. We ended up with, I think, 9 people, but only 8 at the start. And so we just ran EV with some people that hadn't done it in a while. We got to
Right.
sort of check it out and have fun and had a
I
good
was
time.
just gonna say too, yeah, if you feel like, I can't do that, I've never done an operation, I wouldn't know where to begin. You're the perfect candidate then.
Yes, that's why we do it. So come
Yeah.
on in and join us because that's what mandatory fun is about. You can come, and oftentimes you can come on any level. If we're doing an operation like that, then it's not any level. You got to be level 80, but doesn't matter to the gear or whatever. You come naked and we would take you. Cool, cool, cool. Well, hey, we've got stuff to talk about, don't we?
Power will be yours if you are willing to burn.
We are underwater today. We're in Manaan. It's kind of hard to burn down here, isn't it, Malgus? You know what I did? I also did because I was going through the dailies on the Republic side and realized I hadn't done the story on the Republic side yet. So I did that this past week as well, and I like the feel of the story even slightly better on the Republic side. I
Mhm.
like
Okay, that's good to know.
the part about the interactions with Malgus and my Vanguard trooper talking to Malgus, and because my mercenary's got this little side thing where if he has to, if he's going to be if I got to be part of the Empire and I have to have an emperor, Malgus's ideas of like, more egalitarian and, more inclusive empire and all of that, which what his goals used to be, and it's a little fuzzy right now. We don't really know what's going on, but that's what it used to be. It's still complicated right now because maybe Malgus is off the leash and also off his rocker, and maybe bad things are happening, and maybe I don't like Malgus anymore. But on my trooper, from the trooper's perspective, he did no empire is good, and no, nothing Malgus is doing is necessarily good. Not that I hate the guy or I want to shoot him in the face, but having that conversation where it's a little bit more adversarial, and I can be trying to say I just want to understand what you're trying to do, and him coming back with it doesn't matter. I'm going to get, you may think you've stopped me. You haven't. It just felt more solid to me, that interaction.
Mhm.
And then it also upped the stakes for me, the the Sahar part. I kind of liked that of what's going on there. I know we're not going to dive too much into the story here, and we're going to do a story episode pretty soon too. But I liked it. I liked it. And then I was on Manaan, and I did half of the story on Manaan with the Colonel. We won't get into that either. But what's the new character, the counselor, the politician that's down there on Manon with you? She has the really cool pantsuit. Anyway, met her. She is kind of a Weasley politician, as people are saying, but she's a snappy dresser, so she's got that going for her, which is nice. So we'll get to that in a story focused episode at some point. But what we did want to do tonight is talk about the dailies in particular, the daily areas, a little bit more detail on them, but not a lot on the dailies, because the dailies are pretty straightforward. And that's, that's good and bad, but I think good in general. And then also talk about the achievements. So there are regular Manon achievements and there are some hidden achievements, and we'll talk about and maybe even show off in the video parts here a little bit of the achievement stuff. Dailies wise, have you been running the dailies on a regular basis, Seema?
I
Or
haven't.
just a couple times?
I have done them a couple times,
Yeah.
but I haven't gotten into a routine with them.
I'm flush with daily resource matrices, so I haven't had to go run a bunch of dailies, but to grab a couple and to source them up, this is not a bad one. CZ198 still feels slightly more efficient, but these are
So
pretty good.
I mean, I think CZ198 is more efficient, and I think
Yeah,
Black Hole is also for me anyway, because I'm just that familiar with it.
right.
But
But I
I
think that
think
might be
this
part
is
of
a
it.
great.
Yeah.
I like this area, and it kind of reminds me of how Oricon daily area was before I sort of learned the ins and outs of that one. So I think it's going to settle in and be in my rotation for sure.
So
I
here's
like how it's laid out, and I like that you can get to some of them, not all of them, but you can get to some of the quest objectives just by running around mobs if you wanted to.
yeah, right. And if you play through the story, you can pick up the abilities, and we'll show that
Hmm.
again, even though we mentioned it 2 episodes ago. You can pick up the stealth generator on any character, and you can stealth around a bunch of the mobs and get stuff done really efficiently, which
Yes.
is awesome. So I like that. There are 7 dailies, 2 heroic 2s, 1 heroic 4, and a weekly that are available. So remember, this stuff can also be repeatable. The weekly is to complete 6. So that's 6 of any of them, the heroics or the regular dailies or whatever. So very easy to complete the weekly if that's all you're looking to do. They also in 7.1 or 7.1 or 7.1a fixed the rewards off of those. So the first time we started talking about these and we just mentioned them, we did also mention that it seemed like all you were getting was rep and some credits. I don't even know if we got credits then, but no daily resource matrices or tech frags. You do get the daily resource matrices and tech frags now. That makes sense to me. I figured that was a mistake or a glitch or of some kind.
Yeah.
For each of the dailies, including the heroic 4, you get 3 matrices and 30 tech frags. So that's 10. So 10 potential for that. So that's 30 of those. And then for the weekly, you get 25 matrices, a purple rep token, no tech frags, and a noble Decurion distribution chest. So when you get those chests, remember, those are usually an upgrade to a slot up to the cap of what that armor set will be. Noble Decurion is green and goes up to 330 these days. If you want to game the system and there's a particular slot you'd like that green 330 to show up in, then go get a 328 and put it in a slot. Like if I really wanted to roll the dice and I really wanted a green Devastating Vengeance, for example, a 330 Devastating Vengeance, and I didn't care that it was green. I'm going to want blue, but if I didn't care it was green, I could go get a 320, get 330 in all my other slots, get 328 in this slot, go open that box, and it would be a relic. It might not be Devastating Vengeance. It's probably going to be Boundless Ages for me,
Right.
but it would be a shot. So I'm saying there's a chance. So that is where you can go to try to game that. Same way, and potentially the more useful way would be where I'm going to do this is if you run the weekly for Master Mode flashpoints. That's the blue 330 Supreme Decurion. I'm going to run Master Mode Flashpoint weekly. All my pieces are 330 and above, except this one relic that I'm keeping at 328, even though I've got a 330 Boundless Ages in my bank. I'll keep the 328 here and keep rolling that until I get either a Focused Retribution or a Devastating Vengeance. What I prefer is Devastating Vengeance and Focused Retribution, which are the crit and the mastery. Serendipitous Assault is power. Power and mastery or power and crit would also be okay. And this is for a DPS. What you probably want is crit and mastery. So you probably want on your DPS Devastating Vengeance and Focused Retribution. If you're really tricky and you can deal with it, you could do the Click Relic for Alacrity if you can work that into your rotation, but that gets weird, and that's the Primeval Fate Sealer. So,
Well, there you go.
so that is that. The other reason we're doing this is where's the vendor? The vendor is there. Where's the rep vendor? That's medical services. Looks like over there. The rep vendor's over on the other side. So remember, we're also getting the rep by doing these dailies so that we can chat it up with this vendor over here, whose name is Agent Pagran. Hello, Agent Pagran. He's not even a Cellcath. What's going on? But Agent Pagran, then, once you get the appropriate rep level, will give you a whole bunch of cool and awesome-looking decos and even like the personnel decos, which are my favorite kind of decos, the personnel ones
Yeah.
where they stand around and maybe have like an idle animation or will pace back and forth. Those are some of the coolest things. It's a bunch of Cellcath personnel. Oh, I need these medical dudes for I've got a medical pod in my Yavin stronghold, and I can put these medical dudes in there. That would look really cool. Bunch of other decos, armor sets, title, other cool stuff. Check it out. This is another reason why you're doing it. I wonder if these armor sets are bind to legacy. Yes, they are. And all these weapons are bind to legacy. Good, good, good. That's what we like to see and they're moddable. Because now we have the mod vendor open again. We talked all about that last week. If you missed that, we talked in detail about how to talk to Zeke and Hyde and to unlock the mod vendor. Here's another, once you've got the rep, another kind of cool set that you can buy from this Manaan vendor for 1 million credits worth, buy enough pieces, and fill it with the 330 mods, and you're good to go.
I like this Coral Reef deco too.
The big one?
Cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And then there's the progenitor statue, which is the giant one. So this giant progenitor statue is as big as like a starship, and that will go in like a big starship hook in your base. And that's as you've played it, if you're down in the temple area, there is one of those down there that you passed by and probably said, "Ooh, that looks pretty cool." All right.
Wow, I didn't realize one of these gear sets is called Manaan Nightlife.
Really? Is it Manaan Nightlight?
Oh.
It's Nightlight.
I did not read all the way to the end
Does
of the
it glow?
word.
Let's see. I can't shut off the lights in my preview. I wonder if it's glowy. Looks kind of cool. That's a cool set. I like this. I hope these yellow parts actually glow, though. That's a good way to get eaten by a Phyrexian shark, though.
Yes, it is.
So cool. that's a reason to do them. The rewards, the daily resource matrices is a reason to do them, and just to come visit and have fun is a reason to do them. I know we as professional gamers forget that fun might be a reason
That's
to
right.
do game content, but apparently it is. I've been told. So these dailies, I don't think we need to say too much about it. We could talk about them a little bit. Uh, they're relatively straightforward. So like this one, retrieve Selkath artifacts. Invited me to join a group. Why? Because you got lost. Because
Yep.
yeah. So we're in the hidden Imperial base. You're gonna have to quick travel, and then you'll end up
Okay.
right here.
Okay.
But quick
I
travel
see.
to
Yeah.
the hidden
I see.
Imperial
Yeah.
base.
Just like where I died was different. I'm on a different island.
When we get to the hidden achievements, there is jumping in the water and dying. That is part of the hidden achievements as well.
That's I
Uh,
excel at that.
but these are relatively straightforward and relatively quick. Even the heroic 2s and the heroic 4. The heroic 4 you probably need someone to help you with, but let's go through them. There's about 4 different zones. If you look at the map on Manaan, hit M, and let's look at the wider zone map. There's about 4 different zones. You do have to travel to each of them for 1 or 2. There's about 2 of the dailies in each of the areas. But here, amateur archaeology, and they're pretty similar on the Republic and the Imperial side. 1 or 2 of them is slightly different. You're pretty much doing the exact same things, but the flavor text is also going to be different for some of them. Just ignore that. Amateur archaeology, retrieve Selkath artifacts, 0 of 8. You go to the temple area. You run around. There's glowing blue things on the ground. You pick them up. You pick up 8 of them. Bob's your uncle. A couple of the other ones. There's the deep dead drop is you recover the agent's code cylinder by getting a drop location from, I think you have to kill some mobs, get a drop location, and then you use your seeker droid to find out where you're supposed to dig in the area, and you try to find the one thing. No, maybe that's this one, the dig site monitors. No, this is slicing the monitors. The monitors, you travel to a couple of the areas, you click on the consoles, click 3 consoles, another daily is done. So each of these are relatively straightforward. There's one that looks complicated, so maybe we can go to this one. The Culto
And
enrichment lab process.
and I just want to add too, like if you haven't done these quests or missions, it sounds like they could be, that there could be competition issues because you have to find things on the ground and you have to click stuff, but there really isn't. The stuff
No,
that's on the ground respawns at a really reasonable rate.
right. It goes really fast. And in a couple of them where you do need to kill dudes, that is multi-tag. So you can still do it with
Mhm.
people. You can follow people
Mhm.
around, just put a shot into them when someone else is shooting into them, and then you pick up the code cylinder or whatever that the mob dropped that you're supposed to need. And it tends to go really quick. Because we're so familiar with Black Hole and CZ198, I think it's gonna be tough to beat the efficiency of CZ198 regardless. But
Yeah, because it's just a smaller thing.
but those like Black Hole, I think this could be on par or even slightly more efficient than Black Hole as an example.
Mhm. Yeah,
Once you
I
get
think
used
you
to
may
it.
be right.
Once you get used to it. So this one is the one I was hoping would be more interesting than it is, and it's kind of not. So this is where you go to the Culto processing area down here, and you got to click on this console up at the top, and then it tells you got to go down below, and you got to run the. This is where I need to do it, right? Oh, you got to kill some guys to get the processing code. But then it tells you got to raise the temperature, you got to lower the temperature, you got to decrease the pressure, you got to increase the pressure. You just do what it says. There's not really a puzzle to figure out. It goes relatively quick, and then it's done. Another
Yeah.
note, yeah,
Well, it took me a while to figure out because there's little keypads and little consoles all over the place. So I'm like, is it
yeah,
this one? Is it this one?
right.
Yeah.
And it does look like it might be a puzzle as well. So the
Yeah.
first time I came here, I was like checking it out, and where are all these little buttons and consoles? And you're right, there's about 6 of the different little. There's a raised temperature, lower temperature, a decreased pressure, an increased pressure. Well, both of these say decreased pressure. That's a problem. Oh, and then these two are increased pressure ones. So there's 6 little pads for changing the behavior of this little pond, but you just do what it says. You click 3 times, you click on the thing at the top, you get the refined sample, and you're good. But still, cool area. I was hoping for that to be a little more complicated and a little bit more of a puzzle, but it is not. Remember when you come down, I was hoping it would just automatically pop up and be just be available to you, your little quick action bar with the abilities that you've chosen.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or what, but they don't show up for me until I go back to I think it's a Rhodian right outside the hall here, right at the Imperial base, and talk to that person again and re-choose my abilities.
Yeah, that's what I think that's how it's supposed to work.
So it's Aura Jafchi out here, and you say, I want a different equipment upgrade. But I don't know if that is how it's supposed to work. Because what you have to tell the Rhodian is you want something different, not what I currently have. I tried these other options. I tried just saying hi and then leaving, and it didn't make the bar show up. But if you say you want a different equipment upgrade, it allows you to pick the 3 that you want. I like the reflective shield. I like the stealth generator. Yes, I know. I will. What else can you do? I want a different equipment upgrade. So you gotta click it 3 times. Stealth generator instead of the speed boost. And then what was the third one I liked? I think there was a Culto probe instead of the plasma probe. I think I mentioned this before. I don't like the DP. And then make sure you click leave and not escape out of the conversation, or you will get nothing. Nothing for you. So here, stealth. Ooh, look at me. I'm stealthed. You can't see me. Look, I'm John Cena. This is my John Cena outfit, my loadout. Where are you, Seema? Can't see me
Yeah.
anyway. I'm right behind you, Seema. I've teleported behind you. No offense. So that's good. The heroic 2s. One of the heroic 2s, you need to go into a little bit of a heroic area and click some things and click some things and click another thing. The other heroic 2, you need to click some generators and then go kill a guy that's in a little instanced area. Both of those seemed relatively straightforward and quick to me. The one heroic 2 that's outside on the outside platforms, I found that one to actually kind of take a little bit longer amount of time. Maybe with the stealthing around, you can get around it quite a bit easier, because the first time I did it, I didn't have the stealth yet. With the stealth, you still need to kill a handful of packs of elite mobs. So that's the only one I think that would take a little bit longer. And then the hardest one is the heroic 4. Why don't we go down there, both of us, Seema, and
Okay.
we will cut off the head. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's cutting off the head. And you remember, you get the little heroic transports if you need. I'm going to heroic transport right down there. This guy is kind of difficult. You can probably, if you're elite, if you're tricky, you can probably solo it, but my first time through, I almost soloed it, but didn't finish it. And instead of trying again, there were people waiting outside saying, hey, join a group, please. So I did. Do we go down this elevator? Is this where we go? I don't know. That quick travel point did not take me to anywhere close to where I need to go. That wasn't very quick of a travel. Is it down here? Okay. This is a great place to use your stealth generator when you come down to this underground dome. This is where you're going to click the generators and where you do the 2 instance areas where you need to go click a dude, or punch a dude in the face. Because this is a heroic 2 area, so there are a bunch of. Do you not have the stealth generator?
Mm-mm.
Oh, this is going to be a problem. See if you can wiggle your way around down here and not aggro anything. Maybe you can. I think you can.
Wiggle, wiggle.
My money don't jiggle jiggle. It folds. I like it
That's
when
what
you
I was
wiggle
thinking of.
wiggle. Faux show. All right. Down here in this cave is where the two instances are where you've got to kill either a weaker person or the bigger person. The biggest problem, okay, we're going to have to kill these guys, aren't we? Because
Yep.
you are not
Not
stealth.
stealthy.
Kill the healer. Sorry. And the reason this guy is quite a bit more difficult than the and a little bit more difficult to solo is he spawns ads over and over incessantly in packs of 3 or 6, or some of them are ranged and some of them are melee, and you can kind of group them up, but not completely. It's a little bit of a hassle. There are healing stations, so you can make use of those, but just grabbing another person just makes this really trivial and it gets done really fast. Are you in a healing spec or DPS,
Mm-hmm.
Seema?
Healing.
Healing? All right, then I'm going to put
Yeah.
Shay Vizsla here on DPS. And I'm going to shoot this guy in the face. Are you ready, Seema?
I'm ready.
Do I need to do ready check? What is this Culto probe? I even have a Culto probe. And see, when I have my reflective shield and I have my responsive safeguards, I get like 2 reflective shields. All right, I'm going. And it feels really good. All right, let's turn that one on. I'm running innovative ordnance these days. I'm all IO these days. He does this beam, this telegraph. It will kill ads. All right, let the ads just group up on you, and I'll take them out. If
Okay.
you walk behind one of the ads with the you already killed him with your paper cuts from above. What the heck?
Oh, they came into my
Into your
orbital
house,
strike.
and you said, "Not in my house." Is that what you're
No,
trying to say?
I had they just happened to come in when I had the orbital
Look at
strike
all
going.
these guys. See, there's just like tons and tons of them. Oh wait, I'm almost dead. Are you not healing me?
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yeah, no. When I said, "Are you in healer spec?" I'm gonna make put my healer not to healing me, and you said, "Okay." That was a trap, wasn't it? All right. What am I doing here?
I don't know. Now I'm dying.
Oh yeah, now you're dying. Let me get these guys off you. Uh, it's very hard to do a podcast and kill all these ads and have Seema not. Yeah, oh,
There we
good. He's
go.
dead. All right. Okay.
I got distracted by killing him, so that's why I wasn't healing
I
yet.
know you were like in his face, like in melee range. You're a ranged character, but you're like in melee in his face, like punching him. And I'm over here
Because I was
dying on the side.
yeah. I mean that's how it works,
Yeah.
right? No, I had my heroic moment up and I wanted to, kick him and put his flamethrower in his face and
There's a Viva the Dirt League. If anyone has watched that YouTube series where
oh,
they do
oh,
the MMO
that's low.
sketches,
That's low.
there's the one where they're talking to the healer, and they're like, "Yeah, I think we didn't have enough healing on that last pull. Okay, so you're gonna heal. I'm the tank, she's the DPS, and you're gonna heal us this pull, right?" Like, oh yeah. Whatever. No, not whatever. We're gonna go. I'm gonna tank. Well, maybe you could just take less damage. But I'm the tank. It's my job to take the. So you're gonna heal me, right? This is gonna be a good fight. But I'm gonna need a verbal yes from you here. That you are going to heal me. Fine, I will heal you.
In my case though, the verbal yes doesn't even really.
Well, then they pull, and the guy whips out his dagger and runs into the bus.
Right.
For the for donkey or whatever he yells. So that was that. Okay, let's talk for a couple minutes about the achievements. Because now I've probably blown all of our time here. How long are we over time? Yes, we have gone very long talking about all these things, which we should have been very quick and easy. there are hidden achievements and there are regular achievements. The hidden achievements that you would be getting on Manaan are pretty hidden. So you could try to go after these on your own, but a lot of them are quite hidden. I was going to even take you and escort you to one. I think I can. Where is it? I think we can come down here to public port arrivals. Seema, follow me. Quick travel to public port arrivals. There are the kind of achievements where you're picking up data pads that are laying on the ground. That's relatively straightforward. So you could be spying those along the way. There are a couple of achievements where the item that you need to click on or the data pad you need to click on are quite hidden. Those are more difficult. There's a couple that are just meta achievements where if you kill the 15 guy, you do the 15 guy achievements on both the Republic and the Imperial, you'll get the meta achievement. The best write-up, of course, there's a couple of them out there. I don't know if Zam has one, but the best write-up, of course, is SWTOR. She's got a write-up that she did it in a really nice way. So here, I'll show you. She did it where you could just get hints. So she's got a little section at the top which I thought this was clever. I just want a couple hints. I don't want you to spoil it all for me, but just give me a couple hints of where I can go do this stuff. And then if you need more than a hint, then you can go and scroll down and get the full rundown on what the achievements are. So Manaan's Sightseer is where you've got really small hidden objects that you've got to find in a bunch of places. 2, so here's something, take a look at this. It's in SWTOR's guide as well, but 2 of the things that you need to uncover or discover for Manaan Sightseer need to be done while you're doing the story the first time through on Manaan.
Oh.
I did not do this on my Imperial character, and as a result, I need to do it again. So I'm going to need to take another character, make sure they're all the way through, make sure they get all the way done with 7.0 and all the way done with 7.1 and the story. Then they come here to Manaan and they do the thing and they get into the storyline on Manaan here. And then you can get the thing that you need. So don't forget to do that if you're trying to be a completionist and get this Manaan Sightseer. That's what you're going to need to do. Yeah, so this was it in the Imperial Culto refining sublevel. This might not be on this side. Let's see. Elevator. Let's go down it. Isn't this where we just were?
Smooth elevator.
Smooth elevator. There are songs about elevators. That is not one of them. No, I went to the wrong place. So forget it. We're not going to go there live because I have messed it up. But it's little data pads. And that's one of the things you need to get. But some of them are quite, it's like way behind a rock. And it really hidden. You can only see a sliver of it sticking out. So those are going to be quite a bit more difficult. Get devoured by the progenitor. So there are other pieces of it where you just need to go to a place and like here, you can jump into the progenitor's mouth or just jump around the sides and get that to trigger. You will get that. Bunch of those things to get the Manaan Sightseer. You got to do these little things or either find the little things or go to separate places. Another fun one, which I think I may have gotten just because I've done this in a bunch of places already, is the Manaan Republic and the Manaan Imperial Diving Club. And you get this by jumping off the docks in a couple of the areas. And I certainly, the first time I came to Manaan, both in release and on the PTS, I jumped off lots of places, jumping into the water.
I can only imagine.
Because it's quite fun. I did it today when the podcast started as well. There's another one of the find some things, and there's a Republic version and an Imperial version called Converts and Compatriots, where you're finding a set of data pads, and the data pads have a little bit of a story on them. That's a good one. There's only 3 things to find in that case. and you'll want to maybe look at those in a little bit of detail. That's a good one. That there is, so that's the Republic and the Imperial side versions of those. There's the Refining Suspicions, which again is finding tracking device, and for a few different things. There's a Republic and Imperial version of that. Shipping Suspicions is the Republic version of that. And then I've got a bad feeling. I didn't look at this one. What is this one? Hidden achievement is automatically earned once you've found all the objects for Refining Suspicions and Shipping Suspicions is the meta one. Okay. That's the bad feeling. And Counterinsurgent is another meta one where you defeat the 50 isolationist droids, which you will do if you're doing the dailies a few times, and that's isolating the isolationists. And on the other side, you're defeating the isolationist Self-Cath, and that's dumpstering droids. You complete both of those, and there's the meta achievement for that, which is Counterinsurgent. And then you do Explorer of Manaan by uncovering all the points of the map. This one apparently is still bugged. So this one, you should be able to get it by uncovering all the places on the map. I think I have them all uncovered now, or maybe I don't in one of these areas. I think I do, and most people are not getting credit for it in the achievements. All of this, if you hit Y, is in achievements under locations. That's where you should be looking for these Manaan achievements. The hidden ones obviously won't show up because they're hidden until you complete them or complete a prerequisite, which makes part of it show up. But Explorer of Manaan, I do not have completed. So either it's not working yet or it is working only for some people. But this is one of the known issues that's showing up that they're investigating in the dev tracker. And then finally,
Or
yep.
or it's working, but since you already discovered them, it can't trigger now.
Right. That might be the problem for the people that completed it before they fixed it. Then they're gonna have to either run a script or do something else for those people. And then the meta achievement is Master of Manaan. You got to do Explorer of Manaan and the Manaan Sightseer, which is the 7 object areas, the more difficult of the exploration scavenger hunt version, and then the Counterinsurgent, which is actually relatively easy. 50 of the isolationist and 50 droids and 50 of the isolationist Self-Cath.
And what do you get for the meta?
I don't know. That is a good question. I only do these for fun, Seema. Explorer of Manaan. I don't see any rewards for this. I don't see rewards for anything. I don't see like titles or anything for any of this stuff. I don't know. The Master of Manaan is not on here. Yeah, I don't see rewards for any of this stuff. Man, well, forget it. I'm out. There are also, when you look in here, you will also see the regular planet achievements for Manaan, which you may or may not have completed. The one in particular that it's often difficult for people to complete is player versus player, which is you need to defeat enemy players in Manaan's invasion zone. So this is the kind of normal one that we get in all of the locales. You need to switch over to a PvP map, and you need if you want to complete it all complete, you need to have killed 250 enemy players. So this is not mobs, this is not NPCs. This is on a PvP map. You kill 250 people in PvP. I don't know if anybody's doing it right now, but oftentimes when these kind of achievements first come out or a map comes out, people will come in there and you can even maybe like speak up on the fleet and get some of your friends and everybody goes in there. Half the people are on the Republic, half the people are on Imperial. You get like 100 people all having fun, killing each other until everybody gets done with 250 players. That's a fun way to go about it. That's a fun way to spend an evening. It can be difficult to organize. It might need to be an event that you organize on your server. Otherwise, the PvP maps tend to be relatively sparsely populated, and to get to 250, jumping somebody one at a time, winning most of those fights in a PvP instance can be difficult. All right. So that is the achievements. That is the dailies. This is a fun area down here. This is a fun planet. As we said when we first came down here, I do like the scenery. What is your overall assessment, Seema, on what we've got going on here?
Like I said, I think it's going to be a good resource, a good place to do dailies.
Yeah,
And with you, I do like the. It took me a while to get used to the sort of misty, rainy look of it, but I do like it.
right. I, yeah. And I could see it. It is gloomy and it is stormy. And I could see that turning some people off. It's kind of a stormy place, but I like the stormy ocean. I like the lightning and the storm up above. I like that there's a place like this. Besides, I mean, Drummond Cost still is a rainy, stormy place,
Mhm.
but not as dramatic as this.
No, I think it's fine because if you, um, I mean, CZ-198 is indoors and Oricon is like lava-y, and I mean, it's fine to have a rainy, stormy place.
Like look at these as the rain and mist is blowing across. You see this in the light. This is called volumetric lighting, where there's like, sort of like a volume of light effect going on here. That looks really good. Just makes this gives a really nice effect to this whole area, and it just turns it into something a little bit different. Look, more volumetric lighting over
So, like
there.
Zen just said in the chat room, it'd be nice if it was a little bit lighter, or maybe if there were if it shifted with
Ah,
periods of
dynamic
time
weather. It
a
cleared up
little,
every once in a
but
while.
but minor change. Yeah, yeah,
Like the rain slackened a bit, just
yeah.
became a minor drizzle, and then came back. That would be
Hmm.
interesting. I wonder. I wonder what that would take to code. I wonder if they've got that capability in the engine. So yeah, fun stuff, fun things to do. Come back here. This is definitely a way to get your daily resource matrices. Get which which eventually won't be all that useful, but it is a great way to fill in some of the spaces to get you to a baseline of 330, especially while you're trying to switch over your left side pieces, which are your earpiece and your relics, which you can't get through modifications. It's great. Great approach. All right. I think with that, we're about ready to wrap it up for this evening. Anything else for you, Seema, on the old Manaan here before we close it out?
No, no.
So I think the next thing that we have to do is two things. Ooh, you guys want to know a secret? So one thing we'll do is we'll do a story version of this, of talking about Manaan and the story and what's up with Sahar and what we feel about that and what we think is going on with Malgus and what we feel about that and what they found at the temple and what happens here in the daily area on Manaan when you're down here. We'll do a story spoiler episode probably next week. So that's probably going to be next week. And then the week after that, we have a little bit of a surprise coming up. If you really want to know the details of the surprise, we'll be spoiling it a little bit more in our Discord. If you saw the tweet earlier or you're hearing this, you better act quick because this while we're recording live on Thursday night, this Saturday night we'll close out. We've got a giveaway going in our Discord. But in 2 weeks, we should have a new interview coming out on both our Behind the Games podcast and a Mystery Science Theater commentary version of it in this podcast because it's a BioWare interview with one of our new leads. And we will give you hints throughout the next week or so on which lead that is. But we had a really good time. Very smart person.
Yep.
Really great to hear the perspective and to hear about what this what this person does in detail was really inspiring.
Yep. Where she came from, how she got there.
Now
Is
you already gave him a hint there, Seema.
I did I?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
There's 5 new team members and only 2 of them are a she.
Oh.
It's-
Sorry about that.
but still, maybe it, no, now you know. Now we've
I wrote
narrowed it
that
down a
one
little
close.
bit. Still,
Yeah.
well, you'll find out more. So with that, join our Discord, subscribe on iTunes, subscribe to Behind the Games. We would love it if you would subscribe to Behind the Games. I'm still lining up a whole bunch more interviews. We've done over a dozen episodes. I did have a PR lead for a studio, though, ask me, how many listeners do you have? Why don't you, give me your listener
Numbers.
subscriber
Your
statistics,
stats.
and I'll be able to
Yeah.
make a business case to our executives on and coming on your show. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah.
About that.
About that. How about we just say
We'll
you're
call
busy.
you another day.
Well, yeah. So apparently we could use some more subscribers so we can have a good answer to that. Subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify for Behind the Games. Subscribe on YouTube to all of the things that we've got going on, which is this show and Behind the Games. And then this show is now also on Spotify and Stitcher as well. That's new in the past couple weeks. SWTOR Escape Podcast is finally on Spotify. It wasn't until about 2 weeks ago. It's been on Stitcher for a long time, and it's been on iTunes forever. All right. With that, our EPC 436 droid is ready to broadcast this particular episode. Again, newoverlords.com is the website. The website was also updated to be a little bit easier to see the latest episodes of both of our shows. Go there. Pretty cool front page. Tell me what you think of it. I did a little bit of work there. All of the subscribe links are much easier to get to as well. And you can get to both the audio subscriptions and YouTube right there, as well as the link to our Discord. Remember, jump in the Discord there. We've got that giveaway going, and we're going to have more in the future as well. If you want to follow on Twitter to a news feed, we've got @TheNewOverlords. That's sort of the main channel news feed. And then if you want to follow me directly, @MaxTheGray. There's quite a bit of cross-posting going on across both of those. They're both just me posting. So I'm going to try to keep more of the spammy, hey, here's the feed stuff on The New Overlords. And then I will once in a while, well, once for every thing that goes on the feeds, I will say it under Max the Gray as well. But I'll have more conversational things going on under Max the Gray. For Alea Yakta Guild information on Starforge and in all of the games that we play, check out aie-guild.org. Our guild Discord is in the upper right there. That's separate from New Overlords. That's the guild Discord with all of the games that we play, and the Starforge Guild for AIE, where we play and have our ops teams, and we have spots for you. That's where you want to jump in. If you're on Starforge and you would like an invite, Republic or Imperial, we would love to have you. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.